Hey folks, what's up? Evan from Stock Music Musician, and today I want to answer one of the most common questions I get from people that are taking my courses or coaching or just here on YouTube. And that is, once I get started with music licensing, how do I know where my songs are being used? Now, a lot of people are wondering, I see this song say, I got a premium license from Pond 5. How do I know where my music is going to be? How do I know who the clients are? And I've got some good news and some bad news. It's often very difficult to find where music is being used, and it often takes a long time before you will see who is using it. If you're interested in learning how to license your music, I've got a free 5-day music licensing course that you can join. Check that all out, learn all the basics, click on the link down below, and hopefully it'll have your music getting placed on TV, movies, all over. So the next thing I want to turn to is actually addressing the question, how do you know where your music is gonna show up? By and large, you will not know until it's well over and it's been broadcast. So the basic flow of music licensing, especially if it's going to be for TV, is that a TV production company is going to approach a music library, whether it's a non-exclusive library or an exclusive library, get the rights to a song, place it in a show, and maybe they'll pay a fee for that, at which point it will take the network some certain amount of time to actually, finish up the show, approve it, and get it into rotation. That could be months between when the show is finished and when it actually gets onto TV. And then from there, it takes months and months and months for that information to then be reported to a performing rights organization like BMI or ASCAP or PRS or something like that. And then from there, it takes many more months or quarters for you to actually receive a statement from your PRO telling you that that song has been used and how it's been used. So I often seem to see about a year lag from when I see a placement on my royalty statement from BMI and from when that show was broadcast. In other words, the only real way to know where your music is being played, at least legitimately placed, is by looking at your royalty statement, and that lags significantly. But every quarter, a new royalty statement comes out, and I recommend looking over that, and you'll see where your music was played and placed. But backing up from that, into the process, there are tools you can use to help you see where your music's being broadcast. For example, there's something called Toonsec, and Toonsec, basically, you upload your music. It's got this digital fingerprinting thing. It scans all the TV shows, and if it recognizes your music on a show that's being broadcast, it'll let you know. And so if you find an authorized use, Toonsec can help you collect. So Toonsec can kind of help that intermediate step between when your track is purchased, when it's broadcast, and when you receive your royalty payments. I have not had any success finding placements with Toonsec, but I only have about 50 of my songs on Toonsec, which none of which have shown up on my royalty statements in a long time either. So, I don't have much of a feeling for it, but it gets very expensive if you have a large number of tracks. So let's say you want a track in the US and the EU, and for me, I'm probably in the order of at least 500 tracks at this point. US and EU, am I going to spend $667 to track this information? The answer is no. Even if I had 250 tracks tracking them worldwide, $400 a month, no way. So yes, this is a way you can figure it out, but is it a good use of your money or your time? No. Also, I have heard that even when you detect things using Toonsec that you're not receiving a royalty payment from, often it's very hard to get that royalty payment, so you're kind of just out of pocket. It can be fun to know where your music's popping up, but I don't see it that necessary. And the third way, moving backwards in time from the process, is from your music licensing publisher, the libraries that you work with. Some of them will provide you with information about who purchases your tracks. But in my experience, both most of the non-exclusive libraries I work with and most of the exclusive libraries that I work with don't really tell me. Audio Sparks, of the non-exclusive libraries that I work with, Audio Sparks is really the only one that says like, oh, so-and-so purchased a license for this use. Pond 5 doesn't tell you. Audio Jungle doesn't tell you. As far as I know, none of the others do. But I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, please leave a comment below. And then when it comes to the exclusive libraries that I've worked with, they might tell you something like, oh yeah, we've got a deal to place a bunch of music on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. R.I.P. But they're not really telling you, oh yeah, your song is going to play on X episode on X day or anything like that. You could probably, I guess if you wanted, you could send them an email and be like, hey, let me know. But generally they're not interested in that. They just want to send you your quarterly statement and get your music placed. But speaking of which, quarterly statements, some exclusive libraries, not all of them, will pay you part of the sync fee. So if somebody pays them, if a TV company pays them for the right to use your show, your song on their show, then you might receive a royalty payment, part of that sync fee, from your publishing company, from your library. And that may contain information about the placement, but even then, not always. It could just be the song name and the sync fee. So basically, the way you know is when you see your PRO statement. So don't really worry about it. Just check in every quarter. But there is one fourth bonus way. And that is when you just encounter your song in the wild. It's only happened to me once, but it was really cool. One of my songs was being used as like the part of the part of the background music for like Verizon On Demand. So, they'd show a video preview, then they'd have some talking, then they'd show another video preview, and then there'd be like 30 seconds of like my song and be like, did you know that popcorn's really good to eat with movies? And then they play another preview or something like that. So that was really, it caught me by surprise when I found it. It's not like I keep that channel on by any means, but I was just sort of flipping through the channels and I'm like, wait, what? So that is that. The 4 ways to find where your music is to check your PRO statement every quarter, and that's the one I recommend. The second is to use a service like Toonsec to track what's going on in real time. And while maybe it's effective, it is not cheap. And the third way is to work with publishers that directly report that information to you. Most don't. You just got to be comfortable with that. And finally, the fourth and bonus way is you're just walking around and you hear your song or you see your song placed somewhere. I really hope this was helpful. If you know of other ways to find your songs as they're being used, please let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe for more great music licensing tips. And please don't forget to join that crash course if you're looking to get started or even to accelerate your music licensing career.